3 days from Illinois basketball's win over Indiana. For an Illinois team featuring 6 freshmen and sophomores in the rotation and 9 players in their first year with the program, consistency is probably an unreasonable expectation. Then again, sandwiching a 10-point home loss to an average Big Ten opponent between 25-point-plus massacres of conference foes, Penn State and Indiana, is taking up and down to an extreme. By now, we know what the No. 19 Illini, 13-4, 5-2 Big Ten, are capable of at their best, but potential won't win games in March. The return of lead guard Kasparas Jakušionis, who missed 2 games because of a forearm injury, and the similar return to health of Illinois' rebounding and defensive efforts against the Hoosiers was the latest example of the Illini putting their best foot forward. Now they just have to keep it moving, one foot in front of the other, through Big Ten play and into the NCO tournament. Here's what else we took away on the Illini from Tuesday's 94-69 win in Bloomington. It's both the ultimate cliché and an immutable basketball fact. Good teams become great when they play 5-on-5 rather than 1-on-5. The Illini showed both extremes against Indiana, opening the scoring spigot when they played as a unit and only occasionally, stagnating when the ball got sticky. The Illini have no fewer than 7 players on the roster capable of creating their own offense, but even in the case of Jakušionis, each of them is a degree of magnitude more effective when others on the floor are also an immediate threat. Coach Brad Underwood calls it connectivity, and it doesn't necessarily preclude isolations. But it does require body and ball movement, seeking out favorable matchups, and, ideally, probing for opportunities with good spacing and forcing defensive rotations before settling, say, on a contested pull-up jumper 10 seconds into the shot clock. As Illinois mostly demonstrated in the first half against the Hoosiers, it has too much collective talent not to use it to amplify each individual one. How's this for another cliché? Great teams take care of the little things. It's a pat way of saying that controlling the boring, mundane, and dirty work details, stuff like preparation, decision-making, defensive and rebounding effort, and yes, offensive connectivity, wins ball games. Illinois showed it in Bloomington by threatening the century mark, despite shooting 40.0% from the floor and only a decent 34.3% on threes. Turns out good things happen when you dominate the boards. 51-37 advantage for the Illini. Hit your free throws, Illinois, 23 for 26, 88.5%. Take care of possessions, only 6 turnovers, and suffocate your opponent's perimeter shooting, 4 for 18, 22.2% on threes for Indiana. The Illini are built to beat the competition in these areas, and they just may be unbeatable when they take care of all the little things. After the second incident, Ivizic gave Good an earful during a dead ball, but the 7-footer didn't square up or throw hands, and he also avoided responding with force after being shoved by not 1 but 2 Hoosiers. When asked about the near scuffle after the game, Jakušionis grinned and told douches Glenn Kinley and other media, "No one wants Tommy against you, you know. Everybody wants Tommy on your side." To be clear, these Illini are not soft, but they do seem aware of a bigger purpose that shouldn't be forgotten while putting a 25-point beating on a speed bump of a Big Ten opponent. Young men sometimes do dumb, impulsive things, especially in the heat of competition, and especially when that competition isn't going so well for them. So although no one should go too far in vilifying Hoosiers guard and former Illini Luke Good, it should be acknowledged that he directed multiple dangerous, non-basketball actions toward Illinois' Tomislav Ivizic on Tuesday before the big man finally had enough.